Salam, Namaste, Vanakkam, and a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Samina, your host today, and it is my absolute pleasure and honor to welcome you all on behalf of Sherco TVS Factory Rally Team. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today is a very, very exciting day for our entire team. I'm sure all of you must have guessed it by the week that we just witnessed. We have something truly special in store for you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sherco TVS Factory Rally Team is all set to take its next big step into the biggest challenge for man and his mission, which is none other than the Dakar Rally. Ladies and gentlemen, we truly believe that grit is what makes great, and that is going to be our motto, that is going to be our theme this year, which is going to be #GritMakesGreat. So for all of you who are going live today on your social media accounts, be it Instagram, be it Twitter, be it Facebook, please hashtag it as #GritMakesGreat. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Sherco TVS Factory Rally Team began their unified journey to Dakar in the year 2014. India's first factory racing team, TVS Racing, and the French manufacturer Sherco Motorcycles came into existence with one singular goal of creating competitive, lightweight, and highly reliable 450cc motorcycles. And we are on the brink of the team's fourth outing in the Dakar Rally. I'm sure anyone who's a racing enthusiast knows that the Dakar Rally is by far the toughest and the most intense race rally out there. But this journey for TVS Racing began decades ago, and even today, TVS remains as committed, if not more, to motorsports as they were 35 years ago. The second largest premium motorcycle brand, TVS Apache, is born out of TVS Racing, which showcases the fact that the bikes we race are indeed the bikes that we sell. And this year, again, our theme of Dakar Rally is #GritMakesGreat. And ladies and gentlemen, to take us through the history of TVS Racing and the Dakar mission, we have with us a very special gentleman. Please put your hands together and welcome Vinay Harne, President, New Product Development, TVS Motor Company. A big round of applause for him, as he's here to take us through the legacy of TVS Racing and Dakar Rally. Big round of applause for him.
Good afternoon, everybody. I will introduce you our racing and how we started racing, how we started the team, and the whole benefits of our racing. Next one. We started first race in 1984. The team and the training of people started in 1983. Since then, lot of races, proper preparation. The very first moped, we had reached 105 kilometers per hour speed. And at that time, it was very difficult to imagine that such a thing could be done. So it was extreme technology, extreme skills of people, and all the engineering put together in 1983-84 to come to that stage. This team was branded as TVS Racing from 1987. We have established objective of improving performance of our bikes over the years of experience and valuable data. All the design inputs have helped us in preparing very reliable products, excellent vehicle dynamics, and what products you see today are output and result of all our racing experience. In 1983, we started training people, training race riders. Each time we observe good riders, we observe something new. We train people and we send them out of country, send them in many races. And that is how the team has come up with much better riders continuously. Our team has understood long time back that it is three things: excellent bike, really good riders, and a great team. All this put together makes TVS Racing. Some of the pictures of 1983, 1991, year 2000, then 2007, 2013, and 2016. And currently what we are using is 200cc 4-valve to 450cc engines for racing. The records have been really outstanding. Between 1988 to 1999, we have won 159 events out of 185. which is 85%. And from the year 2000 to 2017, we have won 90% of the events that we have participated. This has been possible by maintaining the team, the people, the machines to the best condition, and all the racing people, racing teams have helped to achieve these results. The Sri Lanka National Championship of 2011, 2016 and 2017 are the first event that outside the country we have gone and won the races. And the highlight or the peak of that is now where we are participating in Dakar Rally, Olivia Rally, and this is going on for the third year, and we will be taking part in 2018 Dakar. The benchmark is set by this team, where first time we started rally work for Dakar in 2015. Same way, TVS Racing is the first team to initiate one-make championship way back in 1994. From that time onward, consistently we have been having one-make championship events for our racing team and our products. And then from 2016 we have exclusive one-make championship for women. So again, 1983 as part of TVS, R&D team has got benefits from the racing effort. Continuous efforts in designing and creating ultimate machine. We have won all the leading racing events in India. We carry forward the learning and dedicated commitment to excel in technology to delight the customer with reliable and high performance motorcycles. There are benefits for the customer, there are benefits for the company, and there are a lot of examples of learning from our racing experience, and these have resulted into outstanding products. So our machine, I will describe here. This is an ideal platform to develop new technologies in products, both performance and durability point of view. The motorcycle will perform under severe most conditions for 9,000 odd kilometers, and the robustness of the man and the machine are tested and proved on this rally. It is a huge takeaway with respect to endurance, power, quality, performance of motorcycle under the extreme conditions. And with this special racing arrangement we have with our friends in Sherco. This is a joint effort where TVS and Sherco together put up this rally racing team. The relevant learning will be introduced into our products which come out in future, and this will help in improving the competitiveness of TVS racing teams and the riders. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, up next we have a very interesting AV coming your way. Let's take a look. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was a small little sneak peek into the Dakar Rally 2017. I think a big round of applause for the Sherco TVS factory rally team. Just witnessed everything that they've achieved last year, and it goes without saying that conquering the Dakar Rally is no mean feat. In fact, last year alone, in the year 2017 alone, we've had more than 4 million spectators on the road just witnessing this amazing rally that takes place. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Sherco has been TVS Racing's partner in this incredible Dakar journey, and to take us through how this partnership has worked so far and to discuss our strategy for Dakar, we request Thomas Tessier, General Manager, Sherco Motorcycles, to kindly come forward and address the gathering. A big round of applause for him.
Hello, everybody. Let's speak about Sherco. First, to explain you what we do, to know why we are joining TVS in this project. So we need to know that my father started the company in 1998. So it's a quite young company, and we'll see on what we are focused basically. Sherco, basically, it's one part of a group for motorcycle. We are doing also real estate, as you can see here, so Fites Holding. Sherco is mainly focused on off-road motorcycle. Trial, enduro, and cross-country bike. This is our target, so competitive bike for rider. As you can see here, we have 2 plants, one in Spain, in Barcelona, and one plant also in France, in Nîmes. Our range, it's about 30 vehicles. There is moped, there is trail bike, enduro bike, and cross-country. This engine on this bike is based from a 450 enduro bike. We are currently selling in 65 countries around the world on 5 continents. And here there is a brief important dates of a brand. So in 1999, we started with trial bikes, and we can see also in 2003, we started with enduro in France with the first French factory. Let's speak about the increase of turnover. Sherco multiplies turnover per 3 in 10 years, so it's a quite big growth for Europe company. It's mainly due to 2 factors: new product development. As Mr. Arne said, it's really important to use experience on racing to develop a new product, and this is what we do every time. So new product every 2 or 3 years, new engines, 252 stroke, 254 stroke, 450, 125, a lot of new products that are coming on the market, and also active policy of network development. We have a new plant in France since 2 months. So some of you have visited last year at the conference in France. Now it's in operation, so it's 12,000 square meters, where we build the enduro products and moped products. So we are starting as TVS on white piece of paper with marketing. Arun, you know that. And what's the idea of a product until the sales, the production, and after sales. So here you can see where we sell. So in 65 countries and covering the 5 continents. South America, it's also important for us for the Dakar. In terms of technology, it's really important for us to work on cycle parts. When I mean cycle parts, it's the chassis and swing arm, this kind of parts, but also on all body work on the bike. We are specialists about 4-stroke engine with 250 for 4-stroke and 450, but also in 2-stroke with a small engine for trial and also the 250 300 2-stroke. We have new 125 that is coming on the market since 2 months that have a huge success. So all our bikes are with electric start and also with injection. We are specialists with the injection since 2003. The first bikes for enduro were coming with injection, but this is a good feedback from a Dakar with a difference of attitudes to know how it works. Also electronic power valve and cycle parts. We were 1 year ago world champion in enduro with Matthew Phillips, an Australian guy, and also we won we tested a rider in the Olga Rally that was Lorenzo Santolino. You see he has done some good results, and he was Spanish champion last weekend. So it was a good weekend for TVS, for a rally race, and also for Spanish championship for Sherco. We are present also in extreme race. It's a Red Bull support race, and popular race, as we can see with Jerry Tarux. So this product seems a little bit maybe strange for you, but this is how Sherco have started in '99 with a trial product. My father was passionate about trial. It's a highly skilled manner to ride bike. Aravin, for example, tested that last time. It's really important for all riders are training with trial bikes. So we have 4 riders in the World Championship. We're also present in Pre-Motor Free. And let's speak about the main topic, the dream for all rider and the dream for all factory, the Dakar. It was a nice start with TVS. It was 4 years ago, basically, because it will be our 4th Dakar with TVS racing. It started with Aravin Pangaunka and his passion for motocross, and also one time Arvin came with to a factory with Arvin, and we discussed what we can do together, a new project, something interesting to improve the skills of our mechanic, to improve the performance on the bike, reliability, but we can benefit each other as a real team. And we said, okay, what's the most difficult race in the world for off-road? It's the Dakar. Okay, let's go and compete on this race. It will be interesting to see what we can do. Since 2015, we started an intense program for development. You will speak with a rider, with also RTR450. It's interesting to know what is all the process to build a bike for rally. This year we have done so many races. So basically the Baja Dragon, the Mazuga Rally, and also recently the Pan-Africa that Joan Pedro won, and also the Oliver Rally when they have done 5th and 6th. That is really good with Lorenzo Santolino 10th and Aravin KP 13. So it's quite good for the rider. It's really important to practice the race. It's important for 3 main things. Basically for rider training, because when they experience more race every time, they can be accustomed to wake up at the right hour, to prepare their road book, to be sure that they can be ready for the race and prepare mentally, because it's so long race, a rally race, that is complicated to be performant during, for example, the Dakar 14 days. That's a crazy race. When you see, for example, MotoGP, just 1 day is really fast. But the Dakar race, it's really hard to be performant on this kind of race during a so long time. And in addition to this, there is a navigation. Navigation is not easy because you see the guy that are riding at 150 km per hour, but at the same time, they need to check the road book. And this is a concept that not everyone knows, but it's really difficult to do the 2 things at the same time. And now we are here to prepare Dakar. So basically, after the Libya Rally, all the team disassemble the bike, check that all is okay, rebuild the engine. The riders are not doing any more bike intensely because they don't need to have a crash before the race. So they are doing cycling and training the gym sport. The mechanics are working really hard right now because they need to prepare the bike, they need to prepare the truck in terms of logistics, because when you put the truck inside the boat at Le Havre, after it's finished, you can just take things with a plane. So it's a real organization. So Dakar will be in January in South America, like it is since many years. 3 country cross. It's a nice experience for a rider to find and to see a different track every time. So why there is this strong partnership, this friendly relation, is because we have the same spirit about racing activity. We are so passionate. I was speaking with Siddharth, watching the movie, say, this is why we are in this industry. This is why we are in this industry. It's a dream. or to participate or to build a structure that can go to this kind of event. It's so nice to see this passion for this sport, and how there is emotion on the kind of events. So here it's things that are really important is to learn from this kind of events. So we learn in terms of the two things that is really difficult during a race like this. It's balance between reliability of a product and performance. Because if you are not sufficient reliable, you can win one stage or two stages because it's a long race of 40 days, and this is not easy to arrive and to compete during this long race like this. Extreme for engineer, because they need to work really fast, because after the race that is in January, they need to prepare the next Dakar, but the season starts just in June with Mazuga and these kind of events, and for the mechanic and for rider. Symbiotic benefits of the partnership. This, for sure, it's a global opportunities, because we can show and we can demonstrate TVS Racing and Sherco how we can be ready on the kind of events, and demonstrate our capacity to be organized, to train rider, and our capacity to develop and to make innovation on the product, and to show to the entire world and to our competitors. So also it's racing technology exposure, I have said, and global brand image. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Thomas, for taking us through the journey of this Sherco and TVS Racing partnership so far. Ladies and gentlemen, to tell us more about the growth of the brand Apache and its deep connect with TVS Racing, and also to tell us more about hashtag Grit Make Great, I'm going to welcome on stage Arun Siddharth, Vice President Marketing, Premium Two-Wheelers International Business and TVS Racing, TVS Motor Company. A big round of applause for him.
Hi, good morning. It's nice to meet all of you as heading two-wheeler premium business for a change, and TVS Racing. So this is fantastic to have all of you here. I've been in touch with a lot of you guys at different points of time, taking your advice, understanding from you. I think it's a huge part of where we are today is because of the kind of discussions that we have had at different points of time. And I can't say which discussion led to what, but I know at the end of all these discussions led to something that is beautiful. And I think I think as an Indian manufacturer, being at this level with our friends from Sherco, I think more than anything else, it's an effort which has come through because of a lot of things that we have put together, because of the kind of prodding and nudging that we've had from all of you. So thanks for that, and I'll get quickly into my presentation, and I won't take too much time. This is the rough agenda. Essentially, Apache as a brand, like I've always said, it's a racing brand. It's a brand where the mother brand is TVS Racing. It's a brand that has developed beautifully well. We are now the largest growing sports bike. Actually, we don't consider ourselves a sports bike segment, though we play in a sports bike segment. We consider ourselves a race bike, and which is meant for road use. And I think the best proof of this is the fact that it is developed by TVS Racing. Cell is sitting here, and he reports to, and our TVS Racing as a setup is tuned in such a fashion that it reports to TS R&D, which is headed by Babu for us, and who in turn reports to Mr. Harne. A huge part of everything that goes into the bike, from the engine, power plant, and the testing, is done entirely by Cell and his team. So I think the way the brand has developed is because also that the consumers see what we do on racetracks is probably what we're selling on bikes, and they can make out the difference in performance when it comes to that. Just to give you a sense of how the brand has also taken forward TVS Racing's legacy, we now have a one-week championship, which we do at a much bigger scale. Also, all of you have been a part of the Media Racer scheme, where you guys have come and ridden the bikes and enjoyed yourselves. I think you get a sense of what the stock bike is and how the bike on the one-make championship for the Media Racers are. And you know that it's more or less, pretty close to the stock bike, and except for a few changes that are made for you guys to really ride on racetrack. Apart from that, now we are starting, we're institutionalizing two things. One is, like Mr. Harne said, we have a program to absorb new talent into TVS racing. We also want to create a program for people who are retiring from TVS racing to get absorbed back into different aspects of the company. Could be marketing in terms of the programs that we're doing with respect to Apache Racing Experience, where we call a lot of our owners to ride the bikes on a racetrack. It's a highly coordinated track experience where people like Harry and others come and teach them how to ride. I think these are the two big things that we're trying to build forward for TVS racing. The pro performance, any which ways, which is the stunt part of it, and the racing experience, which I spoke. We're also starting Apache owner groups across the country. And this is a new initiative that we are taking because we are seeing a lot of our owners wanting to come together and interact more with TVS racing. So these are owner groups which will have direct access to our TVS racing franchise. They will be able to meet riders. They will have exclusive invites for discussions. They will have exclusive track days. They will have exclusive access to factory visits where they can ride on a track. And this is fantastic because the idea of if we have to really grow motorsport in this country, I think there's nothing that can do the job like a brand that can walk the talk for TVS racing. And that's what Apache's job is essentially in the portfolio. Yes, it has to sell, it has to do other things, but essentially the brand is built on a belief that racing can develop something great and fantastic and engaging to ride. So that's as far as the owners group is concerned. On the partnership already, I think Thomas touched on this beautifully, and as well as Mr. Harne. I think we have a very common philosophy which is led by racing. We have been in this racing business 35 years, essentially. It's also a beautiful time for us because this year's Dakar, it coincides with our 35th year of TS racing, which we are celebrating this year. And I think we probably, for 30 out of those 35 years, have been the only factory racing team which has been committed to the motorsport scene in the country without backing out. So I think we have enough credibility to say that we really believe in this, and we have developed vehicles from this. Also, it helps us create a partnership at a global level because these are two teams essentially which are equally skilled. Sherco has a very narrow area and a very deep area of focus, which is off-roading. And for us, as TVS Racing, we have always been, we have started a lot of our racing activities on the motocross and supercross in rally areas. And it's good because this year also we had a record year to celebrate 35 years of racing. So thanks Sel and his team. We won the national championship for the 6th straight time, and the Raid the Himalaya also. And this year we have a near 100% rate in every championship that we have participated. So this is fantastic, and I think what Sherco brings to us is like Mr. Harne said. He used a very beautiful word. Yeah, we are partners in this racing program, but we are friends first because essentially we are in it for the same thing. We want to test ourselves against the best in the world. We want to take our engineering to the next level. We want to learn from the toughest racetracks or the toughest off-road tracks, so to say, across the world and bring that back into our machines and give it and democratize the idea of great performance and endurance at the same time. These are two opposite criterions because most of you who are technically sound will know this. These are two opposite parameters, performance and endurance. So to bring this back on the road bikes and just to give you a sense, this also has helped us win JD Power for the last 2 years consecutively on our brand. So it is proof of what we are learning on the racetrack. We are bringing it to main roads. Apart from that, yes, one of the biggest things which Mr. Harne spoke about, which I want to touch about more in detail, is the development of the machine, which is obvious, which I've spoken about, but development of the rider. If you see this year's calendar that had for TVS Racing, this has been our biggest year in terms of preparatory races for the Dakar. We participated in 4 different races, different from Baja Aragon to the last one in Pan-African, which we won. We had 1 and 2 finish, which is fantastic. And in Mazoga, we also had a 5 finish with Pedredo doing very well, and also Arvind finishing in the top 15. So this is fantastic for us, and this year focus has been just as much as machine development has been something that we focus on as a manufacturer. We have also tried to put in a lot of effort into rider development, and I think that's where we see a lot of difference and a lot of progress as far as all the three riders, whether it's Pedro, who's already very experienced with 10 Dakars in his belt, or Adrian, who is now in his third, or KP. And mostly KP because this is his second Dakar, and definitely he's hopeful of a very good finish this year with the kind of effort that he's put in the lead up. So thanks a lot to our friends in Sherco who have helped us do this thing together, and Seth for putting this entire program. So this is where the partnership is. In terms of benefits, yes. If you want to be an international player and you don't want to be a certain region or a country specific, if you have ambitions of being a global manufacturer, that's what we are. It's important to have exposure at the global level on events which are considered the gold standards of competition. And I think Dakar gives us one such opportunity. It gives us the ability to put our brand forward in a place where it's only that the best of the best compete and they finish. So I think this is fantastic for us for a global brand image. It gives us great technology exposure and also creates a lot of global opportunities for our riders and engineers to go to the next level, because they also would like to test themselves against the best in the world. I think this has already been captured. The good part is that last year we had a first top 10, top 15 finish, and this is very positive for a young team which is doing everything together for the first time. I think with that, I'll just bring upon a small video to showcase to you the kind of effort that will be going in, and also we have today with us all the three riders for you to interact with, who will be going to the Dakar for the TVS Sherco TVS Factory Rally team. And without much ado and taking more time, I would like to roll out the video for you. Thank you.
What defines greatness? If a 14-lap race is intense, try racing for 14 days. If a 20.8-kilometer trek is a challenge, give 9,000 grueling kilometers a shot. If racing in a bit of rain is a showcase, then what is racing across a river? This is Dakar. The toughest race on earth. The ultimate test of endurance and engineering. To take on 140 of the world's best riders. To challenge nature at its most unforgiving. We're fueled by our spirit and our grit. We push our bodies, our minds, and machines to the limit. We train relentlessly, develop persistently, and progress fiercely. Because we've known what it takes to achieve greatness. Grit makes great.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we unveil, introduce and welcome our Sherco TVS Factory Rally team for Dakar 2018. We have Joan Pedrero, Adrian Mitch, and our very own Aravind. Can we give them a big round of applause? And requesting all our friends from media, our photographers and videographers, to kindly come forward, come closer for the photo op session. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be our 4th outing in the Dakar Rally. So our team has worked really hard and they continue to work really hard in order to conquer Dakar 2018. And once again, introducing to you our team for Dakar 2018, Joan Pedrero, Adrian Mitch, and our very own Arvind KB. May I also quickly request Vinay Hardy? Also quickly requesting Team Vinay Harne, Arun Siddharth, Mark Tessier and Thomas Tessier kindly join us on stage for a photo op with our Sherco TVS Factory Rally Team Dakar 2018. Thank you so much. I'm going to request our 3 riders to stay back on stage. We're going to have a small little interactive session with them. In the meantime, I'm going to request everyone else to kindly grab your seats and settle down. All right, we just have a bunch of questions we'd like to ask the 3 of you. So I think we'll start with Pedro. Now, this is your 9th, outing into Dakar, right? You're extremely experienced. So what do you think an individual needs and how does he need prepare in order to participate in the Dakar Rally? Yes, can we have one more mic, please? Yes. So my question is, how does one really prepare for a Dakar Rally? Now, he's already been on it 9 years, right? This is his 9th outing into the Dakar Rally. So how does a person prepare for it? Because it's really intense.
Su pregunta es ¿cómo se prepara para el Rally de Dakar? Porque usted lo ha hecho 9 veces y es la 10ª vez.
Bueno, lo primero de todo, agradecer a toda la gente que ha venido, a toda la prensa, a toda la gente de TVS, a Sherco. Creo que estamos haciendo un buen trabajo. Y nada, decir a toda la gente que muchas gracias por venir, que eso es lo importante.
First thing, I would like to thank everyone who is here, and also the team of Sherco and TVS, people who work in the factory, and everyone who has come from the media. Thank you.
Bueno, la manera de preparar los 9 Dakars que llevo ya, ahora por el próximo será el 10º y bueno, mucho trabajo, ¿no? Me dedico día a día a trabajar muchísimo con la moto, con el físico, con el mentalmente.
This will be my 10th Dakar, and I work a lot with my motorcycle, and every day I have to do a lot of hard work for that.
Y bueno, quiero afrontar este Dakar. Para mí es muy importante porque el número 10 es mi número favorito y quiero dar un gran salto. Estamos preparados, hemos hecho un trabajo muy fuerte con Sherco TVS. Hemos mejorado muchísimo este año, hemos hecho muchos test y la verdad es que estoy muy contento.
this will be my 10th Dakar, and the 10th is my favorite number. And ¿cuál fue la última cosa?
Agradecer a todo el equipo que hemos hecho conjuntamente un trabajo muy bueno con Test, con todos los Sherco TVS y todos los ingenieros conjuntamente con TVS y Sherco Factory.
Yeah, I would like to thank everyone who have done the test in the Sherco and TVS factory, and the engineers who have helped me a lot in this.
Y bueno, vamos a afrontarlo lo mejor posible. No sé, tengo buenas sensaciones, hemos hecho carreras muy buenas, hemos ganado Panáfrica, Adrián ha hecho segundo. Tenemos un team muy familiar, muy cercano y creo que va a ser un buen Dakar.
We have done very well, and we have done very well in Africa, and we have won. Adrian has won second position, and we hope to do better in future.
Y no olvidarme de nuestro piloto India, Aravind, que desde aquí lo quiero felicitar porque ha hecho un progreso muy bueno. El año pasado no tenía experiencia, este año ha mejorado muchísimo y bueno, yo creo que se merece un aplauso Aravind.
And I can't forget my colleague Arvind, who has done very well, and one big round of applause for him.
Thank you. I think to sum it up, it takes a lot of preparation. No doubt he would know it because this is going to be his 10th outing into Dakar Rally. And most importantly, I think what he's trying to say is that it takes a whole lot of hard work and a whole lot of teamwork, which our entire team here from Sherco and TVS Race has been putting in. Thank you so much. Moving on to Adrian. So my question for you is, everyone, no matter who you speak to, they say that Dakar Rally is very intense, it's very hardcore. So what, as a rider, what makes you think that Dakar Rally is extremely intense? Why is it so intense?
Yeah, so, for sure it's Dakar, it's a very intense race. And it's completely different of the other race, because the other, it's like we race in Morocco one race, but Dakar it's 2 or 3 races like Morocco without stop. So it's very hard race, and like the next Dakar, we will begin by a lot of dunes in Peru. So a lot of sun and many kilometers in the sun, so will be for sure very difficult and hard physically. And after we will reach Bolivia. Bolivia for sure, a big altitude. Last year we climbed until 5,000 meters altitude, so it's very hard for our body. And the weather there, it's very cold sometimes, can rain a lot. So we have to be prepared to hit. And then we reach in Argentina. So again, very lot of sand and rock, so many kind of ground, and very high temperature. So for sure, next Dakar again will be very intense race.
So basically, it's whole journey which involves very extreme climatic conditions and also very extreme terrain. No doubt, it is the biggest challenge for any racer. Thank you so much. Moving on to KP. Now, last year was your debut, right? Like, this is your second time. So the last time you were, you were a debutant, and then you would have felt differently last time. And I'm sure, given that you've already experienced it once, you might be feeling much better or more sure of yourself this year around, right? So share those thoughts with us.
Hello, everybody, first of all. Thanks for being here. First year was not that great as planned, but definitely I had a lot of first-hand experience, and I really have a clue of how Dakar is. And then since then, I've been a part of 4 Dakar Series rallies, international rallies, and I've trained a lot after that, and physically and mentally. I've had a lot of time on the bike. I've done a lot of navigation training as well. I think starting from Merzouga, I finished 21st. The next was the Spanish Baja, which I finished 12th. And then Pan Africa was 13th. And then Olivia was 15th. So definitely the results are getting better and the performance is getting better. I'm gelling well with the team, and not to take it away from my teammates, I get all kinds of inputs, and my team has been really, really good, and there's absolutely no pressure. I think I'm more prepared than how I was last year, mentally, physically, and I think on the bike as well. So it's definitely going to be a good one to look out for 2018, yes.
And we're definitely rooting for you. Wish you all the very best for that.
Thanks.
Now, again, one more question to both of you, to Adrian and Pedro. How good do you think do Indian riders have a scope when it comes to international motorsports?
Bueno, la verdad es que es sorprendido, ¿no? Hay muchos pilotos en Indian. Me he dado cuenta que hay muchísimas motos aquí en India. Es increíble las motos que hay y sobre todo pues que están subiendo muchos pilotos a Europa. Arabin, Sandos, muchos pilotos y creo que es una buena solución para nosotros, ¿no? Que vengan gente de todo el mundo, sobre todo de India, que es tan grande y bueno, me sorprende porque han hecho un cambio muy grande, han evolucionado muchísimo.
India is a very big country, and there are many riders in India who are doing very well in Europe. For example, Arvind has done very well, and they are very professionally doing it.
Y bueno, yo creo que Arvind tiene unas cualidades muy buenas, no suelo decírselo, pero bueno, se lo digo ahora porque aquí quiero que sea reconocido porque ha hecho un cambio muy bueno y tiene una técnica excepcional.
Arvind is very talented, and he has a special technique, and he will do very well.
Y bueno, yo creo que es una referencia en la India, una de las referencias más grandes en la India que en el tema de off-road y bueno, pues qué mejor que sea piloto TVS y Sherco y podamos hacer una buena campaña.
Probably he will be the best rider of TVS Sherco, and he will be the reference point for in motorcycle riding.
Great, thank you. Adrian, we'd like for you to share your thoughts on the same thing as well. If you can just tell us what you feel about the scope that Indian racers, Indian riders have in international motorsports.
Yeah, for sure, it's nice to see all the new rider of a new country coming in our races, and for sure it's very good for them to see all the big races like that to have an evolution here in India, and I hope with them other Indian riders will follow them, and you will have so many more riders in India.
Great, thank you so much. One final question to Arvind, of course. Based on whatever they said, I think that's only further proof of the fact that you're an inspiration for many young riders out there, right? So what advice would you like to give out to all the young Indian riders?
For sure, TVS and TVS Racing has been actively racing for 35 years, and they've been actively coming up with Apache racing programs and Apache promotion programs where a lot of customers can get a lot of knowledge about how you can really get better on safety concerns and riding on the seats, and how you can literate others and all that. So I think it's definitely opening grounds for new riders to come, and then it's the only factory team which has been there since 35 years, so which has created many riders. Most of all the prominent riders in India are all from TVS. So it's been inspiration for all of them, and my advice to the new riders would be just focus on the right thing, and since you have a lot of exposure now, and put yourself in the control atmosphere, and if you have the persistence and dedication, I think you will definitely get to where you want to. There is a lot of stage now in India, and the sport is growing, and hopefully it'll get better.
So all it takes is grit to make great, right?
Definitely, definitely.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, can we have a big round of applause for them? And here's wishing our team all the very best for Dakar 2018.
Thank you. With this, we've come to the official end of the program. We'll open the house for Q&A. If you have any questions, I'd like to invite on stage Harnesh, Sid, and Thomas. If you could join us on stage, please. Any questions for the riders or the team? Okay, please. Can we have a mic? Go ahead.
Hi, this is Rishad from Autocar. Hi, this is Rishad from Autocar. Congratulations to the team and all the best next year. Arvind, this question is for you. Last year, you said that navigation was going to be the biggest challenge. Since then, you've had a lot of practice. You've seen what more there is out there. Is that still the case? Navigation still the biggest challenge?
See, every race is different, and definitely my navigation has improved a lot from the time I started. So I'm definitely more confident this year. I wouldn't say I will get lost, but you know, navigation is still a challenge for, you know, it takes a lot of rallies for you to get used to it. I do read the book better, and I can relate to the stage much better. But still, it is going to be a little challenging. But I think, you know, it's because the next edition of Dakar is mostly on the dunes. So you don't really have any tracks to follow. You have to make your own track, and it's all angle, you know, it's like degree based. So hopefully all this training and all the rallies that I've been doing will definitely, you know, help me out, and I don't get lost.
So we'll be rooting for you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, Atish with Evo India. First of all, congratulations on Africa, Olivia, great finishes. You have been consistently improving your performances. What is the goal for Dakar this year?
So do you want to take it?
I think without getting ahead of ourselves, I think as a company we believe in process, whether it's about product development or it's about the way we go to market, or we cut a segment, or it's a racing program in general. So it's important in a race like Dakar to not get ahead of yourself and believe the process that you put in. I think the process this year has been just as much about the machine as it has been about the rider. And this year actually we're focused a little bit more on the rider development. And I think with that in mind, I think the races that we have finished where we have finished, for which you also quoted, I think it's important to keep in mind that the process is working. And I think we just would like the process to work, and wherever that leads us, I'm very sure that it will be a very good result for us as far as that is concerned. So the idea is to keep it simple and follow the process.
Sid is playing it safe. Read the press release carefully. We put the target there, so it's mentioned.
All right, all the best.
We want to be among the
Thank you.
top 10.
Thank you.
I think we, yeah.
We'll do our best. Thanks. Anybody else? Okay, good. Oh, go ahead, Kal.
Congratulations, and obviously best of luck to all of you. It's going to be a tremendous challenge. I just want to refer back to two things. One on the machine side and other for the riders. I'll address the riders first. You've been training together, you've had more time together. Can you share maybe a little bit of how as a team you may have improved or learned from each other, if something that front? And secondly, the motorcycle front. Last year, I remember Thomas telling us about using bearingless crankshafts last year to improve reliability. How has the motorcycle changed in terms of performance compared to last year would be my second question.
Adrian, you want to take that? Kiri and Adrian.
Yeah, I don't, they don't have much to learn from me. It's the other way around. So let me just finish with that. So I have, all these rallies, every day is a learning, and they're all very, very experienced, and that's taught me how to be more organized and how to, tackle difficult days and, keep keep calm and get the finish line every day. So I train with them. I train mostly with them, road books and all that. So if there is any like a major thing I have to look out for, or if there is something which is really important that I can miss out, there is always, they are always open to give me ideas and how I have to do and what should be done for me not to get lost and, get on the track, on the right direction. So it happens in the races as well. So once the actual race briefing is done, I get another briefing done in the room. So that's how they help me every time. So it's a lot of learning for me, and I'm not very sure what they've learned from me.
Thanks, KP. Adrian, say a few words.
So about the bike, my bike, it's amazing. Every day more. They are working a lot on this bike, and every time getting better a little bit. And for sure, this bike will be very competitive on the next Dakar. And it showed that in the last two races was very competitive. With in the World Championship, the last race, we fight with the biggest team of the world. So for sure, this bike is getting better every day, and I am enjoying a lot. For sure, them too.
Thank you. Thomas, do you want to add something on the second part of the question?
Yeah, regarding the bike, we have done a lot of evolution because of the feedback from the rider. That is really important because engineer and mechanic are not they are on the track, but they are not with a rider during a race. Because as we know, Dakar is really long, and the assistants cannot follow the rider during the race. This is a specificity of a Dakar. So we have done a lot of work on the side parts, but during the past year. But the target was last year to work on the high speed of a bike, and we are working on it, and the bike now is competitive for high speed. We have done this job last year, and the main job that we have done this year on the bike was on the performance and durability. We've seen that on the Dakar, the top speed is something that is important, but it's really important to be really fast from point A to point B, and rider can explain that it's something that is really important to be really fast to arrive at a certain speed, because it's just on the Sala, for example, that you can put full speed every time. But from point A to point B, you need to be really fast, and the bike needs to be really progressive. And the big advantage of a Sherco bike, it's the Sherco TVS bike, I mean the RTR450, it's to be really good in tricky condition, and we had the lack of high speed, and now since last year it's done, so let's hope the best. We think that we develop jointly a good product together, and we'll see our competitiveness on the track.
I'll just add to that. I think another aspect that we worked on, as far as, like we said, that rider input has been very important this year. So each one of them has a different riding style. Somebody likes to ring it more, somebody likes a more progressive curve. Arvind himself is very different from how he was ringing it last year to this year. So it's important that we give the rider what is most suited to him, because like Thomas said, that it's a race where you have to be confident, go fast, because the terrain doesn't support you. So I think a lot of work has been about those curve mappings and all, which are more about personalization of technology to the rider riding profile and everything else, keeping in mind the high-speed performance and endurance at the same time, because we had a last 15 days.
Thanks, Ed. Any more questions? Or? Very good. They're going to be around. If you have more questions, you can always catch up with them. Thank you once again for coming here. I know people have flown from other cities too. The lunch is ready. Please join us for lunch. Thank you, Yash, once again.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you.